Hello. Lately, because of this whole lockdown quarantine thing, I've been doing a lot of videos for my daughter, because she's infatuated with YouTube, like most kids her age are. So, figured take advantage of the time. But a lot of friends close to me always say I should write a book because I've been in Japan for 20 some years now, I think, and met a lot of people, done a lot of things, worked a lot of different jobs, tried to learn the language, things like that. So everybody's, close friends always like you should write a book talking about the people you deal with and stuff. But anybody who knows me knows I'm not a big book person. Maybe someday. So I figured take advantage of the camera equipment and the lights and stuff that I've bought for my daughter, and maybe try to do a little Bachi Chronicle or something. I don't know. So just go through my life, different, from when I came to Japan, and stories, mostly just stories of things I've done and people I've seen, and you know incidences, funny, sad, whatever it is. Honestly, I dealt with clubs here, so I dealt with mafia and crooked cops, things like that. I've dealt with all that, and it's been an adventure. So I'll try to do like little stories from the not from the timeline, but try to get it as close as possible from when I first came and just build up to now. And let's see. I grew up in Springfield, Missouri, and it's not the same place as The Simpsons. I don't think so. I don't know, maybe. It is the same place as Brad Pitt, though. I don't have his phone number, so no. Um, Graduated high school around 1994, I think it was. Yeah, 1994, graduated. And as soon as I graduated, I came to Japan. I wanted to see Japan. I was addicted to the whole Japanese Asian cultures, ninjas, samurais, karate, anything. And even through high school, we had our little fight clubs. Different martial arts would get together and we'd spar and do our stuff. So came to Japan, loved it. Stayed here for 3 months and just had the time of my life. I mean, here age didn't matter. Just you could just go anywhere, do anything, and there's no fear. Like 3 in the morning, you could walk to the convenience store and not worry about anything. There's no guns in Japan. There's no, it was just fun. So I went back to the States, and well, actually, while I was here, I talked to some military guys because there's a lot of military here, and I asked them how did they come to Japan. Most of them said they just got sent here, but some said they requested it. So I thought that might be a good idea. So I went back. I went to Marines, Army, and Navy, and I asked them each, what's my chances of going to Japan if I signed up. Army Marines were like, we have bases all over the world. And, you kind of get sent where you're going to be sent. Japan's not one of our main locations, so chances aren't extremely high, but you never know, kind of thing. Then the Navy was like, well, we have bases all over Japan. I think if you want to go there and you've been there already, pretty much your chances are high. So I said, sign me up. Bam, just I'll do it. The guy looked at me a little weird, like, really? I don't have to pitch it or anything. So I was like, no, just sign me up. He's like, what kind of job do you want to do, or what work? Of course you have to take a test and then that qualifies you. But he asked me, and I told him I wanted to anything with like police force or weapons or things like that. And my recruiter, he was like, there is no job like that. There's not an actual job that revolves around that, which didn't make sense to me. But I was 18 and didn't care. So he's like, we have this new program. It's called a striker. Now, for those of you who plan on going to the military or anything, this is important, extremely important. He said, there's a new job out there called a striker. What it is you don't have a job. You just bounce around to different divisions and different jobs until you find one you like. And then you take a test and become that. Sounds good. I get to try different parts of whatever. I get to learn. I get to see different things. Sign me up. So anyway, I signed up as a striker. And to clear that whole thing up, totally a lie. It isn't a lie, but it isn't completely true. You are non-designated. You don't have a job. So when you get to the ship or your command or wherever you're going to be stationed, they just put you in the worst pit wherever. They throw you wherever they can need you, which is usually hydraulics or like a plumber or the jobs that nobody in their right mind would ever take. So they put you in those jobs. you wound up working 18 to 20-hour days. Now, you can take a test to do something else, yes. But when you're working 18 to 20 hours a day, do you have time to study? I mean, do you have time to do anything else? Literally, you're working 18 to 20 hours a day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes. There is no chance of you taking a test for anything else. So whatever you do, don't fall for that. He wasn't completely truthful, but he wasn't completely lying to me either. I could take a test. So anyway, I signed up as a non-designated, a striker. I was going to try different jobs. Went to boot camp. Got done with boot camp. They signed me as a plane captain, which is like a gas station attendant for airplanes. You're the guy waving them in and checking the hydraulics and stuff. So I went to Miramar and did my training there to learn about the planes, because that's where they do the whole uh, Blue Angels training, and that's the most like Top Gun. Anybody who's seen Top Gun knows Miramar. It was fun. I mean, we went to the beaches on the weekend. Tijuana's right around the corner, so we had a good time. And I did that. I don't remember how long, maybe 2, 3 months, maybe. I don't remember. So then I get my orders. I'm going to Japan because on your when you're doing it, you get to request your where you want to go. It's just like a maybe type thing, but you can put down 3 different requests: California, Florida, Hawaii. So I put Yokosuka, Tsugi, Japan, Yokosuka, Japan, and wherever else Japan, Okinawa, Japan, just anywhere in Japan. So I got Atsugi, Japan. I was going to go there to the plane captain, or to the what they call the airplanes, the fleet. So get my orders to go to Japan. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, finally going back to Japan. It's been about a year, and finish doing everything. Go to go to the airport, get signed in, get all that stuff done. I think I went home before I came to Japan just to visit before I traveled. So get to the airport. Now this is kind of one of those funny stories. So I'm with all the Navy guys, and they're all freaking out coming to Japan. A bunch of 18, 19-year-old kids going to Japan. I mean, of course you're going to freak out. So they found out that I'd already been to Japan, so I was like the Wikipedia, asking me a million questions. So the entire flight, people are coming up, hey, do they have McDonald's in Japan? Do they have Taco Bell in Japan? What can I eat? Is it just raw fish? No, they have everything. It's TGI Fridays, Hooters, they have it all. I mean, it's here. Taco Bell, Burger King, it's all here. Anyway, so I'm explaining this. What's the money like? Or how do you do this? So the whole entire flight, I didn't get to sleep. I was just answering these questions. One guy would ask a million questions and fall asleep, and then another guy would come up wanting to know. So, of course, they're stressed out. The kids, most of them are from the country, wherever. They're not, not big cities and stuff. So I talked to them the entire flight. So we get to the airport in Narita. And at the time, now there's 2 internationals for Tokyo. There's Narita and Haneda, but before it was just Narita. So that's like an hour and a half, depending where you're going, car ride to your location. An hour and change to Tokyo, hour plus if you're going outside of Tokyo. So get to the check-in desk, and like the military, whatever, liaison, whatever it's called. So go up there and we're like, okay, we check in, and they're like, your car is your van is on the way, but it's caught in traffic. It'll be about another 30 minutes to an hour, which Japan traffic is crazy. So it can go from 30 minutes to 4 hours if you get stuck in the wrong place. So I was like, well, I've been here before. Can I just take a train? I'll just take a train to the base. I know where it is. I'm sure I can find it. They were like, no, you have to ride in the public or the military transportation to check you in and stuff. You can't go on your own. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. So we all get in a corner and we put down our bags. And this is where it gets funny. So put down our bags, and I'm finally laying there, and I'm just finally starting to fall asleep. I remember it was just like, oh, thank you. I'll just get a hour sleep before the van gets here. This guy comes up, scruffy looking. He's got a beard, hair is kind of fringy, African American, black guy, and he's with a big crowd, big group of friends, I guess, his posse. And he says, "Excuse me," and it kind of wakes me up. And I look at him, and I'm like, he probably wants directions or whatever. So I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he was like, "I wanted to let you know we appreciate what you do for us here overseas, and in other countries, and you know, just wanted to say thank you." Now, it's not my nature to be a dick. I'm usually a pretty nice guy, but I don't know what it was. It's just something about falling asleep and not getting any sleep, deprived or whatever. I uh, I looked at him. I was like, well, if you appreciate it so much, why don't you join? Come help us fight the fight. And at the time, the Gulf War was it was 1995, so the Gulf War was still, things were going on. And if you like it so much, join. Don't pat our back, but then not want to do what we did to get here, kind of thing. So this guy, like I say, scruffy, had a scruffy beard. His hair was it wasn't clean cut. It was kind of scruffy. Not didn't look homeless, but he did look like just not well catered to himself, kind of thing. Not well. So he kind of looked at me and he just laughed, and he kind of just like, yeah, you're right, and walked away, just like, and I was like, whatever. But he had like 5 or 6 big guys with him, and it's kind of weird. Like that's a huge group of friends to come to Japan with, and it was like, so one of the guys with me, he was like, hey, that kind of looked like so and so, a very famous actor at the time, was just starting, hitting his peak. I mean, today he's one of the top actors in the world. I mean, I love him. I mean, he uh, he would be one person I wish I could meet again and apologize for how I acted. So anyway, he was like, "Hey, that looked like so and so." And I don't want to say his name because it's not a great story. So I don't want a bunch of hate mail coming at me. So his bodyguard, which I'm taking it because he's probably one of the biggest guys there, turns around and looks at us. And he was like, "You think? Good job, guys." And just they walked away, and I felt horrible because I liked these movies then. I mean, he was just coming up at the time, and now I wish anything I could just meet him and apologize to it. And maybe someday, you never know. He probably don't even remember. It was probably just like these little punk kids kind of thing. But anyway, so after that, the bus came. We go to the base, check in. The next day, I'm known as the guy who told so and so to join the military if he really likes it that much. So I was first day or week at my new command, and I was already the idiot of the crowd. So that's one of my stories. We'll start that one with the first one. Entering Japan. That's how I entered Japan in the military. Well, I hope that was entertaining enough for you. There's a lot more. And it'll get more detailed as the time goes. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll just post these videos. If you like them, watch them. If not, then it's just me killing time. Talk to you later.